Top story this week. Let's stop getting it on. Oh, baby. Let's stop getting it on. According to UN calculations, at some time on Monday, October the 31st, the world's population is estimated to reach 7 billion human beings. We did it! We did it, Andy! As a species, we banged each other towards the precipice of oblivion. The dinosaurs might have gone out with an asteroid. We went out banging. And good luck explaining that to your offspring, future inhabitants of Earth. We did it. They said it couldn't be done. They said it shouldn't be done. But we showed them. Sure, we had help. Andy, when we collect our award for most people on the planet, there's going to be so many people to thank. First, we really have to thank God for making us all so bangable. Secondly, we must thank the Catholic Church for inexplicably continuing to hold a prehistoric attitude towards contraception. Thanks, Pope. This 7 billionth baby is for you and your lack of conscience. And finally, we have to thank... No, please don't play us off. Please don't play us off. Finally, we have to thank our collective refusal to fully confront this looming overpopulation catastrophe. We're king of the world!
Yeah, well, I mean, it might not stop here, John. I mean, this is not... We mustn't see this as having achieved everything we can achieve in terms of breeding with no real eye on the long term. I mean, they do predict that population will reach at least 10 billion by the end of the century. Or if people really cannot stop banging each other, it could be as much as 15 billion. Now, of course, I'm going to take the optimistic view on this. I'm going to say, well, there are now 7 billion... potential buglers out there, John. That's
true.
That's more and more buglers. Mate, just more potential friends to meet. A pessimist, of course, would say, oh shit, that's more potential people trying to become my friend. What do they want? What do they f***ing want from me?
Well, what better day, Andy, than Halloween to reach this milestone? It's our last chance to reverse the trend by trying to scare the record-breaking baby back in. The child will be born into a world dressed up as witches and goblins, or sexy witches and sexy goblins. And if it doesn't immediately start trying to climb frantically back up the umbilical cord, then we are, in fact, in serious trouble. But who's the 7 billionth baby going to be? I'm sure there's going to be a bit of a race to either squeeze out or hold in babies so that you can have a historic child rather than just a boring baby with no numerical gimmick to them whatsoever. Also, it could make for some last-second drama, too. You might think you're going to be the 7 billionth baby. Then someone unhelpfully dies the split second before you're born. You drop down a notch, only for your title to be taken by the screaming little shit who pops out in the bed next to you, flipping the bird straight into your face and saying, "Ah, I'm the 7 billionth, you're not. Ah!"
Well, it is a big problem, John. There's some debate over exactly how big it is. People have, after all, been predicting Malthusian catastrophes ever since Malthus woke up one morning and fancied having his name turned into an adjective. And it's bad news for us in the West if Africa gets so full of people that they have to start eating their own food instead of exporting it to us at knockdown prices. I mean, that is the real concern.
That is, God, that's chilling to think that could ever happen, Andy.
Yeah, I mean, if Africa's population increases twofold, what are we going to do, John? I mean, you cannot live on television alone.
Yeah, well, just think of it as our glass being completely full and theirs being completely empty.
Okay. All right, I find that reassuring, John.
Yeah, that's better.
And also, I mean, they should be more grateful, John. If we had not discovered Africa in the first place, these people wouldn't even have anywhere to live, and bang.
That is a strong point.
Yeah.
That's a strong point. But how do we celebrate this, Andy? Perhaps the birth, this monument to overpopulation, will be celebrated like the millionth customer in a supermarket. Balloons will drop from the sky, and parents will be allowed to have a 2-minute free sweep around a local grocery store to grab things from the now empty shelves. But the UN predictions for the future, as you mentioned, are actually much, much worse than this. We may end up looking back at this time of a population of 7 billion as being a golden age of global spaciousness. Because the numbers suggest that by the end of this century, the world's population could be over 15 billion. It will nearly double in just 100 years. And it's pretty clear what the problem is here,
That's
Andy.
bad maths, John. That is more than double.
That's right. It will nearly double, then it will do a bit more than that. In just 100 years, Andy. That's maths.
Yeah.
That's mathematics.
I know.
But it is pretty clear what the problem is here. The upcoming century is just going to be way too sexy. If we don't do something, By the year 2100, around 35% of the world's population will be directly related to Silvio Berlusconi. That can't happen. We can't have millions of little Silvios running around dry humping table legs. You can't run a planet like that.
Really? That sounds like it might be a solution, to be honest. I think we just need sexier table legs. If we could make table legs sexier than women, then that could...
God, you might be right.
Yeah. I think we might have stumbled upon a solution here. What we need, what this world needs, is not greater equality. It's not cures for curable diseases. It's not water and education for the poor in the developing world. What it needs is erotic furniture. Distractingly erotic furniture.
Well, I think it's pretty clear. We all need to cut back on sexiness. Now, you and I have been inadvertently doing this for years.
Yeah.
But it's not enough now, Andy.
Right.
The slap bass should be banned. There should be prohibition on scented candles. And all underwear sold from now on must carry the face of the recently murdered Colonel Gaddafi. There was nothing hot about that image, Andy. And that might just be the photographic cold shower that the world needs for the next century.